So today we will discuss about the tumor microenvironment of the PDAC or Pancreatic Adenocarcinoma. So the main purpose of this tumor microenvironment that is generated by PDAC is to suppress the immune response so that and simultaneously promote the growth of the tumor cells so that tumor cells will continue to grow themselves. At the same time, they will be able to evade themselves from the immune response of the host. So what are the things that these tumor cells do in order to achieve those goals? So one of the things that tumor cells do is that it will promote the growth of the cells that leads to the immunosuppression of the leads to the creation of the immunosuppressive environment near the tumor cells. For examples, that it will create these Y delta, gamma delta T cells, and also this tumor associated macrophages. So the function of this is to inhibit this tumor effector, this T effector cells, and these are one of the important cells of the immune response. So because of this, what happens is that this for example, this tumor associated macrophage will provide uh, tumor associated macrophages will deplete will deplete the will try to deplete or remove the conditions or that are essential for the T effector cells, such as it will reduce the amino acids which are the critical determinant for the efficiency of the T effectors, this this aniline and arginine amino acids are reduced by this tumor associated macrophages. At the same time, the other function is that this extracellular matrix will provide a shielding against and the provide a shielding so that the T effector cells will not be able to reach to the tumor cells. And other things that these cytokines that are released, that is IL-6, IL-13, CCL2, CXCL1, and others that are mentioned, will helps in generation of this ECM matrix that will prevent the T effector cells to directly come in contact with the tumor cells. At the same time, the metabolic changes that we have covered in our previous videos, that the metabolic changes leads to the glucose intake of the tumor cells, uh, or the increase in the amount of glucose intake into the tumor cells in order to take care of their energy requirement, and this leads to the glucose depleted conditions near the tumor cells or in the tumor microenvironment, and which is also responsible for the immunosuppressive environment, as glucose depleted conditions are not good for the immune or T effector cells or immune response cells. At the same time, or moreover, what happens is that these tumor cells will also take this arginine and tryptophan and convert, and at the same time it will release this lactate and convert this arginine into the neuranine. So and this release of this lactate in the tumor microenvironment will cause the change in the pH, and that is not beneficial for these T effector cells, or that is, you can say, disadvantageous for these T effector cells. At the same time, the decrease in the amount of the tryptophan or decrease in the amount of tryptophan will also cause uh, reduced immune response, or we can say the environment near the tumor cells uh, become immunosuppressive environment because of these conditions. And so apart from this, these T regulator cells, the regulator cells will also get increased because of the release of this TGF beta and CCL5 from the tumor cells, and that will cause the upregulation of this T regulator cells, and that inhibits the function of these T effector cells. So this is another factor. And one last thing that is mentioned here is about this uh, B cells. So B cells is actually act as the immunosuppressive. These B cells are the immunosuppressive B cells. So upregulation of these B cells through this CAF or cancer associated fibroblast will leads to the immunosuppressive environment, as this immunosuppressive B cell or these B cells will promote immunosuppressive environment near the tumors or near themselves. And this cancer associated fibroblast will also directly inhibit the T effector cells through this CXCL12 and TGF beta pathways. So in this way, this is a brief overview how this tumor microenvironment of PDAC or pancreatic adenocarcinoma cells works, and that leads to the immunosuppression of the immune response, we can say. And this is the reason why tumor cells will not be able to detect or kill by the innate immune response of the host. So that's all for this video. If you need to understand more about this tumor microenvironment of this PDAC, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.